Special Forces Regiment, Philippines. The Special Forces Regiment, Airborne, is a Special Operations Forces unit of the Philippine Army. The unit is based on and continually trains with its American counterpart, the U.S. Army Special Forces, Green Berets. The basic combat organization of the Special Forces is the 12-man Special Forces team. An SF team will have at least one of each SF military occupational specialty present in the team. These include intelligence, demolition, weapons, communication and medical. The Special Forces Regiment, Airborne, is a Special Forces unit of the Philippine Army and one of 3 specialized regiments of the Special Operations Command. The unit is based on and continually trains with its American counterpart, the U.S. Army Special Forces, Green Berets. It is based at Fort Ramon Magsaysay, Nueva Ecija. Like the Scout Rangers, members of the Special Forces Regiment of the Philippine Army are also highly trained in the art of counterinsurgency operations. Upon assignment to the Special Forces, soldiers are made to undergo the basic airborne course. They, later on, undergo the Special Forces Operations course, an 8-month course that equips each SF soldier in the basics of Special Forces and unconventional warfare operations. Each member of the SF regiment may opt to undergo specialty courses as well after finishing the Special Forces basic course. These include, but is not limited to, undergoing further training in demolitions and bomb disposal, psychological warfare operations, PSYOPs, riverine operations, combat diving, as well as VIP security training in preparation for a reassignment with the Presidential Security Group. The basic combat organization of the Special Forces is the 12-man Special Forces team. An SF team will have at least one of each SF MOS present in the team. History: the regiment was established in the 1960s by then Captain Fidel V. Ramos Pa, INF, first commanding officer of the SFRA, primarily trained in both unconventional warfare operations and psychological warfare operations. The regiment has close ties and trains with the U.S. Army Special Forces, Green Berets. Like the Scout Rangers, members of the Special Forces Regiment of the Philippine Army are also highly trained in counterinsurgency operations. Upon assignment to the Special Forces, soldiers are made to undergo the basic airborne course. They, later on, undergo the Special Forces Operations course, an 8-month course that equips each SF soldier in the basics of Special Forces and unconventional warfare operations. Each member of the SF regiment may opt to undergo specialty courses as well after finishing the Special Forces basic course. These include, but is not limited to, training in demolitions and bomb disposal, psychological warfare operations, PSYOPs, riverine operations, combat diving, as well as VIP security training in preparation for reassignment with the Presidential Security Group. The basic combat organization of the Special Forces is the 12-man Special Forces team. An SF team will have at least one of each SF MOS present in the team. Promotional photo of SFR commandos in various combat gear. In 1960, then Captain Fidel V. Ramos Pa, INF, Lieutenant David Abundo Jr., Captain Cesar Batlin, Captain Jose Magno Jr. were trained by American forces at Fort Bragg, North Carolina at the Special Warfare Center, taking the Special Forces and Psychological Warfare courses. They later took training in airborne courses. The regiment was established on June 25, 1962, primarily trained in both unconventional warfare and psychological warfare, which started as the 1st Special Forces Company before it evolved into a group and then to a regiment. The regiment has close ties and trains with the United States Army Special Forces, Green Berets. When the unit was created, around 12 officers and 105 enlisted soldiers formed the unit. The unit encountered manpower issues when SF commandos were sent to Vietnam under the 1 Philippine Civic Action Group, Vietnam, VILCAC-V, which forced commanders to train new recruits to refill the ranks. SFR commandos were known to have been actively sent to Mindanao after it was established. The SFR was responsible for creating the Civilian Home Defense Forces, CHDF, later renamed as the Civilian Armed Forces Geographical Unit, CAFGU. The unit changed its name from Special Forces to Home Defense Forces in June 1968 to avoid being disbanded when it was revealed that Special Forces commandos trained Muslim Filipino soldiers for operations in Sabah. At the time, the Home Defense Forces group consisted of A teams, Operational Detachment, and B teams. In 1970, the HDFG was placed under Task Force Pasig of the Presidential Security Command. In 2004, it's reported that 1,200 operators are in the SFR operations. A British businessman, Alan Hirons, 70, and his wife, Wilma, were rescued by the 2nd Special Forces Battalion with support from the 11th Infantry Alactan Division, who found them abandoned at the forested areas of Mount Biahan, the boundary of Barangay Salancan and Kaha in Paray, Sulu in the morning of November 25, 2019. 10. SFR commandos engaged Abu Sayyaf group fighters during the operation. The 20th Special Forces Company was established on February 16, 1991, pursuant to Paragraph 1, General Order No. 23, for dated February 13, 1991 at Fort Andres Bonifacio, Makati City, with Captain Joel D.C. Salino INF as the first commanding officer. After four months of refresher training at regiment headquarters in Fort Bonifacio, the company had their test mission at Mount Sipit, Brigid, Sagada, Mount Province from 26 June to July 7, 1991. After the successful test mission, the 20th SFC was deployed in Batangas Province under the operational control of Southern Luzon Command, SELCOM, which covers the area of 1st, 2nd and 4th District of Batangas Province, and its main company headquarters stationed at Rangasto, Nino, Taysan, Batangas, Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City. General Romeo Bronner Jr., Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, who is celebrating his birthday today, March 18, visited the Special Forces Regiment based in Fort Magsaysay, Nueva Ecija. The XAF, who is sharing a birthday with the late President and founder of the Special Forces in the AFP, lauded the progress of the regiment since it started as the 1st Special Forces Company in 1962. He also reiterated his call for a united and strong AFP. We should always know our mission and stand united and professional at all times. If our AFP is strong and united, our country will be strong and united. That is why we will continue to pursue our modernization and upgrading of our capability, said General Bronner, who previously commanded the 6th Special Forces Company and the 2nd Special Forces Battalion. Gov to continue building up exemplary Army Special Forces by Analia Gonzalez. June 25, 2023, 3:37 p.m. Share X, formerly Twitter, Viber email. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., PNA photo by Alfred Frias. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., PNA photo by Alfred Frias, Manila. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Sunday assured members of the Philippine Army Special Forces Regiment Airborne, SFRA, that his administration will continue to strengthen their capabilities. Marcos made the commitment during the 61st anniversary of the SFRA at Fort Magsaysay in Palawan City, Nueva Ecija. We assure you of the administration's unassailable commitment and that of your Commander-in-Chief's support in all of your undertakings, strengthening your capabilities, and ensuring your welfare and that of your families, Marcos said in his speech. Marcos said the government has adopted the Riverine Operations Equipment Project, ROEP, which is part of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP, modernization. He said this will further improve the capabilities of the SFRA in riverine operations, referring to the insertion and extraction of Special Forces troops for rescue and other special military operations. During the event, Marcos also expressed his gratitude to the fortitude and prowess of the men and women in the Special Forces who dedicated their lives to public service. Extensively trained in unconventional warfare, and equipped with various tools and capabilities, the members of the SFRA have proven themselves valuable in both wartime and peacetime operations, he said. From combating terrorist groups in the country to supporting peacekeeping operations overseas, we have demonstrated competence and professionalism even in the most challenging times. Marcos cited SFRA's 4th Special Forces Battalion's efforts that led to the rescue of 316 individuals from a burning passenger marine vessel of Ailson Shipping Lines bound for Jolo Port in March. The president also congratulated the awardees of the SFRA's 61st anniversary for their exemplary performance and contributions to the regiment. You have exemplified self-sacrifice and resilience, going beyond the call of duty to safeguard communities towards the attainment of internal security and of peace in the Republic. I think it would be safe to say that you have lived up to your name as the silent professionals, he said. Truly, you have not only played pivotal roles in times of battles but have also become dependable sentinels for the Filipino people. Through the responses for humanitarian assistance, you have created a ripple of hope in our communities, and increased our people's trust in the military and in the government. Marcos urged the SFRA to continue to support the Filipino people in times of crisis. On this note, we enjoin you to keep aiding fellow Filipinos by supporting them in times of crisis. Ensure their safety and well-being during operations and uphold the moral of the people that you serve, Marcos said. May you all continue to train and empower yourselves in maintaining your standing as experts of unconventional warfare strategies. National Defense Secretary Gilbert Teodoro Jr., Special Assistant to the President's Secretary Anton Lagdamio, and other members of the cabinet likewise attended the SFRA's anniversary. They were joined by AFP Chief of Staff Gen. Andres Centino, Philippine Army Commander Lieutenant Gen. Romeo Bronner Jr., Northern Luzon Commander Lieutenant Gen. Fernal Buca, and SFRA Commander Gen. Ferdinand Napulay.